got through. Wait, this is another champ we usually don't get through.
I just had a chill run across my entire body when he got locked in. I don't know what just happened, but no. I mean, the fact that this actually made it through is mind-boggling, and this is LNG saying go ahead and take it, because there's no way on red side you let it through and you don't expect blue side to take it.
Yeah, how many teams have spoken about outwardly, like, oh yeah, we actually just don't scrim with Skarner because we know it's going to be banned. It's just useless practice. So we'll see if Jiejie is able to get this done. We kind of expect everybody to be able to play this, so we'll see what the trade is here for LNG. Taking the Varus, I think, perfectly fine, especially for how Photic has played earlier on today, but still no Ambessa priority coming through, especially with how much of a splash she had in day one of these groups. Yeah, I mean, IG, they can get Skarner, they can get Ambessa, whatever they want.
They can get anything. They can get whatever they want. It's like going to the grocery store and having an infinite budget. You can get whatever you want. Right now, it looks like they're going for the combos, at least, and the Orianna Shockwave with the ball delivery system of a Skarner sounds like a good one to start.
Okay, so wanting to try to push
that,
Azir off, it does mean that they are very reliant on combos, however. And when you look at what IG is able to do, they are basically saying our range is wherever Orianna ball is. Great cosplays, by the way. But when you were looking at this, you're going to lose the lane versus Azir in terms of range. And come teamfight DPS, you're kind of looking at what LNG can do. I like their team composition if we were able to get rid of nameplates.
I don't know, man. You give this trio away to IG, and it feels terrifying. The Gwen is going to come out again. I'm sure that's going into the Ambessa. Try to find out if that matchup is going to be an efficient one for that counter pick style. But now going into the second phase, we have some very particular focuses here. We got to see some potential more ADC bans coming out from LNG, but bot lane focus in specific, that Ezreal going to be the first one.
I wonder how much homework they've done from IG, because a lot of the typical answers into Skarner have been some of those power clears. When we talk about Zyra, potentially, I think one of the champions that we haven't been able to see too much in the LPL, but specifically for WeiWei, was something that he found so much success when we were talking about that Worlds run, is the Ivern. He was so good on this champion, and one of the reasons they were able to make it was because of his proficiency, and it's definitely great into the Skarner.
I can't. Dude, anytime I think of Ivern, I just think how it just completely mind controls any player from the LPL. It's like the instant trigger where it's like watching Winter
That's the
Soldier
Daisy.
all
The
over
Daisy
again.
is the LPL players. He's actually microing all 6 of them.
It's literally like, oh god, it just doesn't stop. Like, please just play against some Iverns. Practice against it. Anyways, we got the Vi band here, so a lot of the jungle setup focus taking away from WeiWei.
I think for WeiWei, you still have Maokai, you still have the Ivern, like we were saying, depending on what he wants to go for. I think Azira might not be the play, considering you do have the Azir and Gwen already, but they do need frontline. For LNG, if they can get something like a Nautilus, something that can really hold down the rest of IG, I really like their composition and the odds for them to be able to play. You think of how much range, I think Gwen is so annoying to deal with, not only for Ambessa, but for this Skarner and this Orianna.
I'm a Nocturne hater, so I'm going to reserve my judgment here. But, you know, they go ahead and take that one. They go for that big engage. You need to be proactive as WeiWei on this Nocturne to stay ahead of the game. And IG now looking to fill in some of the damage profile for themselves. They need some more setup, some more engaged tools to pair into that for Meiko. But getting the Corki here is a high-tier pick.
Good skirmishing does allow them to play out range, so... what is Meiko's support going to be? Honestly, I think a Lulu kind of can rock here. You could go for
You really
engage.
Want to see the enchanters?
I do. I think when you look at what the rest of LNG wants to do, a Lulu just completely stops what Nocturne's able to accomplish, blocks some of the damage that something like an Azir is able to get off. But
we're
they
in
just
the
want some more
LPL. We
engage.
don't play enchanters.
Yeah, I guess so. So what is this R5? Because we've been giving over to supports here in the LPL, but I don't know of very many
what
supports.
Makes
maybe
this
a
comp
Braum.
work?
I think a Leona's potential here, but it's tough for Zhuo.
I guess it's the Rakan. It's the kind of go between the extra roaming power as well. And I think out of all the games, I mean, WeiWei and Zhuo's combination in this game is omega important.
Yeah, Nocturne Rakan is one of the strongest pairings I think you can get from jungle support, just because of the fact that Rakan can almost essentially follow Nocturne thanks to his E, so we'll see what LNG are able to do. Again, no front line for them, so they are very reliant on how they're able to stop the rest of IG. We'll see how Rakan is able to get things done and kind of hold IG in place. Whereas we see from Invictus Gaming, you have good enough engage coming in from support. You have this jungler that's going to be a mega tank and still able to deal damage. And then relying upon this combo of Mbessa and Orianna, you got a lot of tools to be able to make plays here. First and 2-item spike is going to be a huge wake-up for this team.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think it's going to determine a lot of what we see for the rest of the game. I do like on the hand of LNG, though, that they are trying to give those resources to Zika and to Photic. I think having the Varus for Photic is a big call, but it's also giving him a lot of flexibility in the game in terms of what he can provide and the damage profile he can give. But these two guys are who we're absolutely looking to play towards for LNG. And for IG, just look at that momentum from the last game and steam it forward. You got Skarner. Show us what you can do with it. And look to claim that 3-0 start to Group D and be the frontal leaders, at least on this first day for it. It's been fun. It's been IG dominance since I came in, at least. And LNG trying to fight back against the demons, all the naysayers and the doubts that this day one has brought to them. But I know the arena in Shanghai is going to be loud and awake for IG itself. And we got this game number 5 of the day. Only one more after this. But this is IG versus LNG. There's probably an issue.
Yes, I can already. God,
we know.
They were like, hey, so there's a bug. Skarner is in the game for some reason. Want to make sure. How many games of Skarner do you think have been played in the LPL this year so far?
I think it's 1, right? 2? No, maybe 2. I think it's 2.
Can you maybe guess which players were able to play it?
Was one of them, I think, was Tarzan.
Yes, we only have one game of Skarner, and it was a win. It was Tarzan versus NIP in playoffs.
And we were wondering why he got it there, too. We were like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was definitely, I think, NIP trying to, I actually, real quick, do you want to check that draft? Was this game 1? This was game 2. Oh, this was when Shanks played Azir, so every time they do that, that's a Lee Sin game. They already knew they were giving up that game. All right, cool. We don't have to talk about that series any longer. So
we talk about this
here
one,
from, yeah, for IG, my look is going to be in the bottom side because that is where I think most of the skirmishing is going to be. I think Rel does have a little bit more combat power, especially now with the heal versus the ignite here in our support matchup. So it'll be up to LNG and how they're able to maneuver around these 2v2s.
And I guess quick question for me is this, at least if the Gwen works out in this situation, how are we feeling about the Gwen setup into the Mbessa, being willing to let the Mbessa go on blue side?
I think it's fine just because we have seen the matchup be favored. You look at solo queue statistics, it's 54% win rate in favor of Gwen, so very overwhelmingly. Oh, this 2v2, we were talking about it. So much damage from the Gatling gun already, and Photic half HP before the first mini wave's even down. But looking at top lane again, this Gwen champion, very good in the laning phase. There is some, fight back for Mbessa when she finishes her first item. But Gwen as a champion becomes more and more dangerous as we go on. That passive gets completely disgusting by the time this champion hits level 16.
We've all seen the clips. We've all known the meme of that Gwen is immune. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition here. But yeah, bot lane not looking too great. The level 2 advantage has been claimed by IG. I do want to check in on the jungler setups because unfortunately for the bot lane of LNG is WeiWei moving away from them. And it's Jiejie moving down towards bot side. So we'll see if that effect actually ends up happening in terms of where the junglers want to focus.
But the one thing that we saw from LNG in their first game when they were playing the Gwen Nocturne combo is they were very kind of indexed on trying to get as many resources into Gwen as possible, getting her a lot of ganks, making sure that she felt comfortable. But in this moment, you're playing red side Nocturne Gwen, so the terrain's not going to be very helpful. And when you think about the dive, how does this even happen for the Gwen and Nocturne? So I really hope we don't see a repeat of that JDG series that we got a little bit earlier on for LNG, and I want to see WeiWei make sure that he hits level 6 and try to rope in Haichao.
Yeah, that level 6 mark is the bread and butter for this composition for LNG. A little bit of a misplay here. Zhuo going to take a decent chunk of damage from that combo of Meiko and Gala. Jiejie has come to the fruition of his pathing and is down towards bot side. TheShy and Zika going at it in top side as well. As I do wonder if WeiWei is actually going to try something here. I don't think the dive setups are all that good, at least for this top side, but Jiejie does end up getting a little bit of a wall bag there. We're going to look at the dive. Let's see. Is he going to be able to execute it? TheShy going to clear the wave. WeiWei immediately realizes this is no play and will back off.
TheShy has been playing so good today when it comes to making sure that he's outplaying dives, that he's doing well enough in his lane. I think that is so important to whether or not IG... Oh, God! All right.
That's a little bit of panic there in the Rakan IG skin.
So they will be trading summoner spells. It'll be the heal for the ignite, but this was the 2v2 prowess that we talked about, right? Gala and Meiko with this Corki and Rel, they have so much more combat prowess early on, and we're seeing that so far it hasn't turned into much of an advantage. It's just 10 CS here for Gala, but for the time being, again, we are looking towards, can LNG properly scale into this game? They are going to be kind of having an uphill battle when we talk about some of the lanes, but as long as they can hit 3 items comfortably without being at a deficit, I think LNG do have a chance, but that's with nameplates off. You have to think about what these players individually are able to bring, and LNG have not been a team that has been particularly exciting this year so far.
And I think you can think back to last year in the excitement for LNG of when this roster really came together, when Scout joined, but then when, or 2 years ago at least, when Scout joined, then when Gala joined, and the lackluster sightings that we had of LNG last year, and the reason for the swaps, the reason for LNG divesting away a little bit and going with some more developmental pieces, and IG picking up Gala, and now him showing these kinds of performance, this kind of setup in the 2v2. It's not something we were able to see in Split 1. It's not something we were able to see at the end of last year either, but it's nice to see him return to a good form.
Yeah, it turns out Meiko for Hong is a pretty good upgrade, some would say. But we're going to get that first trade here as Skarner already on the Dragon, and with TheShy recalling and WeiWei already up towards the top side, he's going to get these grubs. If he's able to get this, all 3 of them by himself, he actually should be able to hit level 6, but I like what Rookie's doing. He has push in mid. He's going to say, look, I'll drop this wave, I'll catch it and clear closer to my turret, and actually get vision down onto WeiWei.
Actually, a little bit of contest coming here. Can't even,
oh, no.
Is he going to be okay? He's gonna get one.
He'll get one.
He's gonna get one.
I don't know if he gets much more though. Meiko's on his way. You kind of see Haichao's like, we can fight for this. Now with Zika coming down, there is potential, but I mean, you look at where the supports are. Zhuo is in bot lane. Meiko's already in the spot, so that'll be 2 grubs going over to IG.
Trying to just play with the map state they're given. WeiWei having to back away, but now he's very close to level 6. On that next deploy, we could see LNG get active with their ultimate combos. And while you see the end of that play, Jiejie will secure the 2 grubs. He already got that other dragon as well, so IG off to the races in terms of objective control.
A good start, and the way that IG are going to be able to find success in every one of these fights is making sure that they're there first so that they can set up for their Orianna and to give Rel some engaged space as well as taking vision away. So as long as they're able to keep on pace, make sure that LNG are not able to get a lot of the early objectives. I think that's perfectly fine with keeping themselves in the game here. Like we were saying, WeiWei now finishing a camp for himself with the Scuttle does get the level 6. And maybe there is a play towards the bottom side of the map. Haichao is hoofing it on over. Instead, actually, probably just wants to pick up some honey fruit. So we're not even going to see a play there. Yeah, I guess he wanted... So I think in China, there was a pop-up shop that actually made honey fruit. Like tried to make one-to-one recreations as a official drop. I'll hold that. Zika.
There's a little bit of honey fruit in top side. 1v1 me as Zika going low, but got the needlework. One more auto. TheShy dashing, but the snip is just enough, and that's gonna be the kill to Zika.
Is he gonna add minions?
For LNG, and he gets flashed on by Jiejie.
It's unfortunate, but hey, Got to get this wave in, got to stop Zika from being able to kind of make this lane matchup more unbearable. It does allow for now WeiWei to walk into the bottom side jungle. How many camps he's going to be allowed to steal is up for debate. It seems like Rookie's doing a very good job of tracking the enemy jungle and helping his own as we get a replay of this. Zika started this off with half HP. A lot of other champions not named Gwen probably are looking at a very different matchup versus Mbessa, but he plays this on the nice edge, and it's just those 1,000 cuts. That Q with the 4 stacks right there. I think he was going to die to minions anyway, so I respect that Jiejie kind of just wanted to make sure that he secured the kill for him. But it is a lot of summoner spells in trade for the skill.
That is, and 0.1 plus to the side of Gwen being a counter for Mbessa. It works. Zika showing that one off, but obviously we'll see if the long-term effects are going to be felt. We do have objectives coming back on the Rift. This time, it feels like LNG will be much more equipped to contest some of these. Oh, Photic. He's getting all in by Gala right now. Gala has been ruthless. He's been a menace, and he's been a monster. Gala gets the solo kill over Photic.
We were talking about this bot lane duo. They make it happen this time. Great job from Gala to be able to open this up. And we were saying, okay, you're playing this, kind of poke Varus. You will have an earlier spike than your opponent, but, I mean, you're just losing out on the trade just like that. Pretty dry as well. I mean, there's no supports here. The fact that you lose this great cleanse coming in from Gala and literally doesn't even have to worry about it. He also gets the flash out from Photic, so that'll be something.
Another 1v1. I feel like we're getting deja vu here, but Jiejie is here this time to make it a sequel, and in the sequel, it is TheShy who comes out on top.
And now he'll be able to catch this wave. It's 45 seconds before the grubs as well. So IG all over the map finding plays, finding wins as well. It's not like they're setting up massively. First it was a solo kill. Now it's multiple ganks up and towards this top side here. And again, some of those criticisms that we had for LNG. How are we getting WeiWei and Haichao active and participating in this game? We have not seen a Nocturne ultimate that's been useful, nor have we really seen this Azir contribute in a meaningful manner.
It's been tough. It feels like LNG just can't get active, and kind of taking a look at the player cams, player faces, especially after some of those plays, it's definitely one of frustration. Going 0-3 to start the group is not going to be conducive to a good environment for LNG, that's for sure. And IG now, with the setup they have, a little bit of over 1,000 gold lead, but primarily being over in this mid lane first, they can choose if they want to go for this dragon.
I think it's tough. I mean, yeah, you have some summoner spells, but no flash here for Photic. And you're still waiting for
makes a big difference. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's no ultimate as well here for Zika, so it should just be the dragon going over. They are making the trade on the opposite side of the map as WeiWei is on these grubs. This time, Rookie is not going to be able to come over and start hitting him and stopping him from grabbing this objective. So, in the meantime, it is going to be 4 grubs, which is nice for someone like Gwen. There are not many champions from IG that can actually deal with this champion, but I just wonder how much actual time is Zika going to have on a side lane by himself to hit turrets. That is a huge worry.
It is going to be tough to find that time in between. Now it does feel like LNG have the tools, at least once they get those first items, to start putting up a little bit more of a fight on the Rift. But this is also a situation where we want to talk about what the in-between time looks like. Oh, no. He knew because he had the IG skin. You know, it's like a bat signal. They just knew. They saw Baolan's name being carved on the ground, and they just knew. No, it is a situation where, like, team fights or IG's wonder time here, and I think in between moments definitely leans towards LNG to find things.
And so we'll have to see how they get to that point, right? Because so far it's been individual skirmishes on some sides of the map that are really going in their favor. And LNG have not been a team so far in 2025 that one can find individual leads and be able to maintain them. And also, we haven't really seen them with in a game where they have an overwhelming lead and they kind of close out. That's why we have a lot of questions for whether or not LNG is really going to be able to hold out versus IG. And dude, I mean, this is what I was talking about, right? Like, the lane matchup is good, but TheShy's finished an item. That's where a big wake up for TheShy and Mbessa is available.
It's not fair, man. Needlework coming through from Zika. Gonna get the TP out from Haichao as well. Just needing to call in the reinforcements to stop the dive under turret. They also were bringing up Zhuo as well. So now it looks like IG will readapt their focus back down towards the bot side, back towards mid.
I wonder if there's just anything that we can do. Even WeiWei's now getting spotted on the bottom side of the map, so they know where the two junglers are. This is a good spot for IG. Remember, this game going long is great. They have a lot of champions that are going to still be strong once we get later into the game. These are two teams that probably feel comfortable getting to 2 and 3 items, but when you look with nameplates on, when you look with how many tools IG have to actually play, I think you look at this Nocturne and you have so many questions as to how much value does this champion actually bring?
It's 2 games in a row. There's been some questionable jungle decisions in terms of the picks, but maybe this one will work out. Getting close to a potential scuffle over bot side as IG's just moving in to clear out a ton of the vision down here. Already have Gala moving from mid lane as well, trying to push in this side tower potentially, but really they're just flexing their muscles here. There's really nothing to go for on the map.
Yeah, right now what they're doing is getting vision so they can protect TheShy, make sure that he can push deep in this lane since he already is kind of winning in the 1v1. He's half a level up on his opponent. And with Herald spawning in 1.5 minutes, what I assume is going to happen now is TheShy, probably on the next wave, is going to be looking to get the turret under, or getting the wave under the turret, pressuring Zika, and knowing that he doesn't have TP, just says, look, I can keep doing this, and when the time comes, I'm going to be looking for a recall, and we're going to move all of our vision and all of our power towards this Rift Herald.
And I think that's going to be not like a tipping point for LNG, but they definitely don't want to continue giving some of this objective focus away. I guess they have the 4 grubs. They would really like to use that to kind of buff up that Rift Herald push, but I don't necessarily think it's okay to just kind of fully give this Rift Herald over to IG. And they don't really have any TPs to really make that a thing. So Zika is going to be stuck down here with TheShy, making it more difficult.
I wonder, does LNG ever just say, we have to give up this Herald? I don't think we're winning an objective fight right now. Let's make a play on the opposite side. Maybe with Zhuo now coming in from behind, there is a play here, but remember, no combat summoners, nothing like an Ignite to help.
It's okay. He's on your team, TheShy. He has your teammate's okay, well, he makes it.
No, and now look what happens, right? Like, Mbessa no ultimate. They're going to look for a trade on these 2 turrets, but it's Rookie and Jiejie already hitting this top tier one. That's probably going to be going down, maybe with Gwen in 4 grubs, but I think it's very unlikely. Dragon spotting in 45 seconds, and I mean, IG just have complete control of the top side of the map.
We are going to get the trade from LNG with the bot side outer turret going down. They are bringing more members down here with that flank. They are going to come down with the crash down here, though, as they get the preemptive engage before the reinforcements are here, but they didn't get the kills in time. And now the paranoia coming in on the back of it as well. They might be able to clean 2 kills, but can't do it. Jiejie is right there. Oh, no, Photic. You're about to get solo bullet again. Don't do it. He steps away. Luckily, can't cleanse, or at least didn't cleanse out of that Chains of Corruption that time. And Jiejie pulling everybody out of his side of the jungle down here.
But because they spent so much time on trying to maybe chase onto TheShy, they lose access to the dragon now. I mean, Photic losing the 1v1 means that Gala has access to mid first. They have the TP coming in from Haichao. And Meiko can very quickly, he's already back out on the map and here for the Dragon, so we thought this was going to be a win for them to be able to avoid the fight. IG say, hey, thank you for spending so much time. You're now out of sync with tempo in the game. We're going to take the Dragon, we're going to still control some of these side lanes, and you're not even bothering to go for a cross map now. As we take a look at this replay, this was really well played, I think, from Haichao. I'm gonna look. Meiko has had some questionable games, but I'm willing to ignore it only because Kelsey Moser signed some of my paychecks. So that happens. But this right here, I think, is a mistake. We can't be going for Mbessa here. We're getting a start onto the Herald, and LNG are getting into a good spot, but I think IG do not want to give this up for free.
They don't, and I think they have a really good angle. TheShy is just in a 1v3. But buying time for Jiejie to come around the backside of the fight. Zhuo is completely out. That's a point-blank shockwave from Rookie. But now he doesn't have any tools available back to help everybody else. Now Zika going low, though. Zika down. He was in the midst of all 5 members of IG, and LNG kind of just left him alone. That's the Rift Herald going the way of Invictus Gaming.
It was some sloppy fights, but still, the end result is worth it. Herald taking that away from LNG, and now this is essentially like 2.5 fights lost, right? Yes, you got that kill onto Meiko bottom lane, but you lost out onto the Dragon. You've now lost out onto the Herald, which we already said was going to be tough for you to contest, and now you find yourself down. Yes, it's 2,000 gold, but think about the map.
Oh, Paranoia is used. They're actually just taking down Photic, though, but Gala chasing him out. One more auto, and Photic is gone. Jiejie has decided, you wanted to fight me? No, you're fighting now, as he doesn't end up following through. He's about to have that Ishtal's impact coming back, but not going to go for it. Just going to go for the chicken nuggets, and Rookie going for the mid lane outer turret. LNG fight a little bit back, but they're still down 2,000 gold.
I think it's just too little too late at this point, right? We were saying that this is a team that, yes, they can scale into the game, but with how they're playing the map, I don't think they're doing themselves any favors. Rookie's looking with the ultimate to see if he can find a chunk, if he can force out Haichao with the Otacon spawning in a minute. Now with this mid-tier 1 going down, IG are really starting to prep themselves to take over in this game.
They are taking over so quickly, too. We're only 19 minutes in, and it feels like they run the world here on Summoner's Rift. And there's still so much to go, still so long till there's a Baron even up on the table, but they are pressing into tier 2s in mid lane with an excellent Rift Herald play by IG.
And I want to make sure that we're kind of keeping an eye on some of the results. If this game is a win for IG, they end their first day 3-0. They're essentially almost guaranteed to make it at least into top 2, top 3 potential, and put themselves as very clear favorites for the group. LNG would start 0-3. The likelihood that they're even able to make third place is now in jeopardy, and this team so early on is already potentially looking at a Nirvana group entrance, which we talked about it in the past couple games, but if you're in group Nirvana and you end bottom 2, you're done for the entire calendar year by June.
And I can't, like, even looking back a year ago, cannot believe that LNG is even in that conversation. But that's what a different approach to the strategic development of a team does. That's what a different approach to what roster you're bringing to the league does. And while some of these names are definitely higher on the scale than others, it's definitely not come together in the way that they would have hoped for. And that just gives a lot of praise to IG in terms of what they've been able to execute on. Maybe it's not the cleanest, but they've now gone through handling every team in this group pretty handily, too, even JDG.
Yeah, if IG, and, I've been, I'm willing to give them their flowers when it's appropriate, but I need to see them close out this group with a surety. If they can make every single one of these games look pretty clean, even if they end 5-1, I'm really confident to say that this is one of the best teams coming out of these groups. But I need the gameplay to be there. I need to see the level of consistency from a team that has TheShy and Rookie. I hate to say this about my boy Rookie, but he has had so many years where he hasn't made international. Some of those are not his fault, but a lot of them have not been helped by the fact that he has individually not always been there for the team. But right now, IG as a whole, all 5 of these members are really performing on point here in Split 2. So we need to see them close out this game. They have a 2,000 gold lead at this moment. They have 3 dragons are on soul point. And, I mean, it's looking very likely here that we get to this dragon fight and LNG just kind of lose the game on the spot.
I'm just saying, I'm not taking the Rookie slander. That man did everything he could. This team's
Look, one of the years it was Squidward. He got owned by Squidward. That's not his fault, okay? The other years he had Photic and Zhuo. Happens. Now he's got a super team. Let's see what you can do, bro.
Mm-hmm. We'll see if he can actually get a nice little shockwave combo here, but Jiejie is the primary engaged with Meiko right alongside him. They are wrapping around on LNG. LNG deciding to start up the dragon. They have Zika in the pit already. He's the one starting it up. Feels a little bit difficult, though, because LNG, they don't have a consistent fight. They don't have an easy way to set up, and now they are flanked by Meiko. They'll be pushed out of the dragon pit, and Dragon renewed aggro onto IG. TheShy has joined the fight and is looking for an angle. LNG, they feel like they can't do anything. They're trying to step up. They can't find an angle. Paranoia goes down. Light switches off, but who's really splashing who here as they get the big Magnet Storm combo? And TheShy has found the backline too, and impale into a single member didn't matter.
Oh!
Technically executed goes Haichao with a double kill from TheShy, and Zika was trying his damn heart out, but he will fall nonetheless. Almost 6,000 4,000 damage done by Gala, and that'll be soul secured by Invictus Gaming.
IG find 4 members, they'll grab themselves the Hextech Soul, and like we said, this feels like lights out for LNG here in day 1 of the group. It sucks to see, and that fight definitely still had some play to be able to be made, but again, we just didn't see WeiWei and Haichao connect in this fight. We were talking about where is the Nocturne, and maybe, I think the best part of this was the fact that Meiko was basically dead before this fight even got to be played, but look at where their damage dealers are at. Photic is just now able to deal damage. Azir is just kind of standing there, and he gets kind of pushed around by the enemy team. This mid-jungle is just not working. I feel bad for Zika because it feels like every one of these Gwen games, he's been really trying to max out DPS, but there is nothing there for his team. There is no setup for this Gwen. And now IG, they have the Hextech Soul. They can very easily move over to the Otacon, and they can play this dance saying, hey, look, if you won't stop us on the Otacon, well, we'll just pull Baron, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, a 4,000 gold lead ballooning all of a sudden. Complete objective control now with the Hex Soul. It empowers so many little bits of their damage profile here as well. Look at that. Like, that is insane damage just for the command attack. And now we'll see them move on to the Atacon. Maybe a TP, maybe a play from LNG. Maybe they want to try something, but Paranoia is not going to be used just yet. Down to 5,000 health goes the Atacon. LNG, they're still surrounding. They're getting a TP in. Paranoia goes in. LNG's last gasp effort here, but look at the Hex Soul. It's doing so much work onto the combined members, and now IG just single out Zhuo. Zika trying to take down Rookie. Rookie going gold and buying time. Look at Haichao, gets the defense, but Gala is still under tower, and the fadeaway rocket too. Give him a triple kill, and that's IG running away with this game.
When are we ever going forward, LNG? Please, we need to do something in this game. It's just too damn late at this point. It'll be the Otacon going over, so if you thought it was hard enough to kill IG before, well, guess what? Now they've got voracious Otacon revives on top of it. They'll take the big purple worm to spend a little bit more time. But this game is just quite over, and IG so far today in day number 1 of Group D have looked impenetrable. We can take a look at this replay. Wait, you just gotta go in. You gotta send it. You gotta fly in. The rest of the team also needs to be able to go, but why is Zhuo going forward now? We're using the old, look at where our team is. Haichao's already down 30% HP. Photic gets found by this public execution. Great engage from TheShy. The damage has already been done. Nice Azir turret, a little too late here for the side of LNG. And, I mean, Lennon, I feel bad because it's just been so hard to find positives here for LNG, but it is damn easy for Invictus Gaming for us to talk so kindly about this team.
It really is, and I mean, obviously some of the most loved names in the league's history itself, but finally showing a little bit of the teeth that we expected them to have in that first split, and they did have for a majority of it, but falling a little bit short when they arrived to playoffs. And it was consistency. It was always the issue, and I'll say the Skarner going over definitely helped things in this game. I think LNG will figure they want that one back.
Yeah,
for sure.
I just don't know if this was a Skarner diff game.
No,
you know?
exactly. But it was a combination of things. I think I know we haven't talked about it too much, and we're going to get engaged here, so maybe we don't get to it just yet, but they actually do end up finding a decent damage onto TheShy. He's still taking up. Look at Gala. Gala's literally just free-tapping people's heads right now, although that Emperor's Divide's going to buy a lot of time. I don't think it's going to be nearly enough. They get the Atacon resets, and Jiejie is getting those Heartsteel stacks, baby. That's the dopamine that we need him to have as they are getting pushed into the base by Rookie. And that is going to be all she wrote. Zika being ran down. Oh, he got him. The solo bolo for the Skarner to make things hurt even more.
Okay, Rookie's definitely going to go down, but think about how much LNG just lost, and those were Otacon revives. TheShy has teleported back in. Gala recognizes he's probably not going to get there before this game ends. He's going to just start taking wolves. IG blow open the game, completely leave LNG's base in tatters. That'll be 2 inhibitors as well. I mean, just what else can we say about IG that we haven't already today?
What else can you say is that Jiejie is a GOAT. This man has been on
Skarner.
A tear.
Oh, I think he actually wins this low-key.
Dude, he's in a 1v3 lose.
All right. Thank you, TheShy. Thank you, TheShy.
But, dude, yes, the Skarner, whatever, the Skarner. But all 3 games today, Jiejie he has a specific job on this team, and it's to find the in-betweens between Rookie, Gala, and TheShy. And I think he has done so proficiently. It has been beautiful to watch, and making it seem like he's doing nothing, but he's doing so much.
Oh!
He killed himself on his own Emperor's Divide, by the way.
Oh my god! Rookie! Don't make me feel things like that, bro. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope.
Rookie's going to internationals this year.
Don't say it! Don't say it, please, man!
He's going.
TheShy. This just means that the monkey paw has curled. I'm about to see TheShy do something very disgusting in playoffs, and I'm not going to see my guy in MSI.
Oh, okay, in playoffs.
It's okay. It's in playoffs. It'll be in playoffs. Yep, they still have. They have at least split 3, as we expect IG to win this game. Now up 11,000 gold. Playing with their food a little bit. We're seeing them having a bit of a hard time closing this one out. Let's just call it as it is. 10 seconds before the Elder. Let's just go ahead, get the Elder, close out this game, and send us to Game 6 of the day for Group D.
I can't believe they have to go for the Elder.
I mean, already TheShy trolled it, and then whatever just happened on top side also may have been a bit of a grief for the tempo.
Question for you, since we don't get to see Skarner very often, I don't get to use my scorpion facts.
Yeah.
Have you ever been bit by a scorpion?
I've never been bitten by very many animals outside of the usually domesticated kind, so...
Oh, well. They hurt very badly. In Texas,
I didn't even know scorpions could bite you. I thought they just pinched you, or
well,
like
they pinch
like
you and sting you. That's like you call
That's
it a
not
bite,
a bite.
whatever. It's a bite. It's a bite. Anyways, in Texas, in the countryside, scorpions love to come into your houses because it's colder than the outside.
Yeah.
And they glow in the dark. If you didn't know that. Some of them, some species glow in the dark, but the ones in Texas where I live, they glow in the dark. And so you'd wake up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom or go get water or whatever. You just see these glowing dots on your ground. I think LNG are seeing a lot of those glowing dots right now, and I don't think they're ever going to want to see a scorpion ever again, because I am still surprised that they let Skarner through, and Jiejie makes them hurt with it. That is IG domination of Group D in day 1 of this setup for this group. And they are looking like the kings of the group itself.
Let's just go ahead and end this one out, guys. There it is. The Elder takes the last hit. The Inhibitor now going down. The Nexus next to fall. IG and day 1 of Group D with a 3-0 and a resounding dominant performance in all 3 games.
What a series of play. Look at the little smiles. Good times. A little bit of friendliness there between Photic and Mr. Rookie. But IG, looking like the IG that was promised. We're seeing some consistency from them that maybe we didn't see beforehand. And that's a breath of fresh air for a team that definitely had a lot to make up for from last. Oh, Rookie!
Hey! Whatever.
What?
It's okay. It's okay.
TheShy's like, man, it did our bow, dude. Like...
Well, Rookie can answer back. Well, he ended the last 5 minutes of that game, but it's cool.
You also entered the last year at IG together. It's fine. It's
Yep. But either way, I still want to say,
feeling?
Not great. Probably looking forward to having at least 4 days of break before they have to get back on stage, and they got a lot to fix. I think this is it's a tough time. Some crunch is going to have to definitely come through for them if they want any chances of even making it to top 3 in this group, right? There's only 4 teams. You got to be able to take wins, and I think it comes back to the series up against LNG or LGD earlier today, the 3rd match of the day. Those are the matches you really need to win because you're already expected to be massive underdogs against JDG and IG. You gotta find wins against the team that is kind of fighting you for a 3rd place.
And I think those are like the must wins, but it also changes so much in the dynamics of what the group can be if those go with upsets or if we see any changes in that situation. But right now, it definitely feels like things are going the way that were expected for the most part, especially when we look at all of our predictions and things like that. It is on the way to where we think it will end up being.
It sucks, but, they got... Look, maybe the next time we see them play, they've got T1, okay? Look,
True.
Smash might come through. He's still hanging out on the bench, okay? So...
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Look, we keep losing to T1, okay? I got to take something from them. So,
Ain't that the truth?
yeah, it's unfortunate for LNG. Again, with starting 0-3 in the group, it does mean that the likelihood that they're basically locked out of first and definitely probably not getting second. So really got to fight hard for a third place finish if they want even a chance of sniffing a group ascend placement.
And if you look at what has worked for them, I don't think anybody but Zika worked in this game in terms of the direction and kind of execution on the Rift. But if they can find a way to play around Zika, I do think the Gwen counter pick does work into the Mbessa. You just have to find ways to implement it maybe a little bit better. But in this one in particular, Zika, I think, would be like that secondary MVP if the losing team had an MVP, because he was trying in a lot of cases. I think this guy is the standout right now that is trying stuff on LNG.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's proper for it to be him because of the fact that he is like the franchise player for LNG at this point, right? Bringing him over from a couple of years ago, and it sucks because of the fact that I think when we saw him in that roster with Scout and LNG, it's kind of exciting. I think he was a really, really fun prospect coming into the LPL.
He was the hard carry in playoffs.
Yeah, I mean that he's one of the reasons they even were able to upset BLG going into that grand finals in summer. So I think there was a lot of things kind of weighing on him, and obviously his Worlds performance wasn't as great that year. And so far, I think it's unfortunately for LNG, his level of performance has not been able to match what his team is able to do. And it sucks because he is, again, a really exciting and a pretty good player in top lane. Just, I think the deck's kind of stacked against him, and he might just need another roster. I hate to say it. We're only in March, but again, in this split 2, we have the format where 2 teams are going to be done in June, which means LNG is potentially at risk here.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but I really think like me and Mark were kind of going back and forth. That we might have to make a change.
Yeah, I think the biggest time for change will be between split 2 and 3. But the problem is for a lot of for 2 teams, you're not going to have that ability to change. So when do you try to make that change? Is it after the placement stage? Is it before all the chaos starts happening with best of 5s, best of 3s? I think that's the most difficult thing for LNG. Or do they feel like they can stick with it and it'll work out? Maybe more time will make this these synergies work a little bit better, because the synergies were working beautifully for IG, and it was a little bit one-sided.
I'm glad that IG are really kind of finding their stride. As much as I was like clowning them in Split 1 for how bad they were performing, I think for not only the health of the league in terms of having this super team, but I think for some of these players, you think of like where some of these players have been in recent years. Gala having a bit of a off year in 2024, Rookie not having the same success as he's had in prior splits, and I think some of his legacy starting to be in question, right? When we were talking about him and the rest of his team, that world championship they were able to win. Even Meiko, coming off of TES, yes, he went to all the internationals, but they weren't able to bring home a trophy, and now having to come over onto IG, a lot of questions.
Yeah, I think the Meiko situation is interesting. I do not think he was the issue on top esports, but I definitely think
for sure.
Obviously a lot of other circumstances I guess affected that, but it is nice to still see some of that direction and kind of shot calling nature be transferred over to IG, even in a team with all these other big names. Even if it's not Jackie Love with you anymore, it's the other big name ADC and Gala here in the league. The combinations there have been so important, and especially with the meta, we see Meiko having massive impacts on things that have like that engaged-centered focus. Maybe one day we'll get those enchanters you want so badly.
My question now for IG is not only can they finish the group strong, but is this a product of the format? Because you are playing best of 1s, you don't have to have particularly deep champion pools, and I think the reason why we're playing best of 1s, or some of the effects of playing best of 1s, is why we're seeing some of these teams start to take upsets. I think when we look at yesterday's results, EDG and WeiWei, typically their top laners are usually playing very small, concentrated pools, and that is something that we have seen time and time again here. Why IG were kind of struggling in those best of 5s in Split 1. So I wonder if they can close out in this group, and what do they look like once we start to add more best of 3s and more best of 5s as we get further into Split 2.
Dude, I want to go back to the days when Rookie on NIP is picking Aurelion Soul. Ah, man, good times, good times. We'll see if we get any craziness in terms of what they want to kind of bring to the table with strategies, because I think this team has a lot of flexibility in what they can do in best ofs, but getting that and executing on that is the biggest difference there. So who do we think MVP is going to be here, Alk? I got to say, I think it's Gala again, maybe, because he was doing some work on the Corki.
I mean, yeah, he was like solo killing Photic. He's like straight up putting
Twice.
pressure on this guy. I think if it's not him, it's probably going to be TheShy, but partly because he's TheShy, partly because he's playing Ambessa. He did play very well.
Did a lot of damage.
I think that he has been playing really well in these 3 games, and I want to see if he can continue that performance, because TheShy's legacy and his career has been marred by the fact that he is a legendarily inconsistent player.
Yeah, absolutely. It's literally the name of the game with this guy. But it is Gala who will claim his second MVP, 12-0-5 on the Corki, and a hell of a performance.
There we go. Good to see, and honestly, well-deserved for what he's been able to put forward in terms of just the early start here to LPL Split 2.
Well, that's it for our 5th game of the day. We have one more on the docket. LGD versus JDG. It's sure to be a banger. Don't miss it.